Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Alicia George. In our top story, Francine Barron is crowned Miss Carnival 2014. CARICOM heads approve region's first ever strategic plan. 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck Mexico and Guatemala. And in sports, West Indies win second T20I against New Zealand. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. 2014 Carnival Queen Francine Barron has copped this year's Miss Carnival title after outperforming 9 other contestants at Victoria Park in St. Vincent on July 4th. This is the first regional title she has won since she was crowned queen in February 2014. An overwhelmed Barron said the experience was a memorable one.
I was rooming with Miss St. Lucia, and we would be in our room speaking Creole like, hey, and the other girls wouldn't understand, so sometimes we'd have to slow down or translate. And she would have moments where she would shout, Papa Monde, or eh, and I would be so happy because it was like I was at home.
Barron walked away with awards for Best Swimwear and Miss Congeniality. There was obvious debate on who patrons for the winner should be, as first runner-up Miss Keith Armstrong from St. Kitts and Nevis put up an equally good fight for the crown.
We were told before that the winner isn't the person who got the most awards, it will be the person who got the most points. So from that we knew that you could get 1 point ahead of your opponents and be victorious, regardless of the fact that they might have 2 more prizes than you did, so on. So it was really consistency that was the key to winning Miss Carnival, and as we saw, that consistency paid off.
Armstrong walked away with Best Talent and Best Interview. Second runner-up went to Raynell Carroll representing Antigua and Barbuda. She walked away with Best Evening Wear. Miss St. Lucia, Amy Stephen, captured the award for Most Photogenic, while Miss Guyana, Kizwana Jefford, was awarded Most Community Spirited. Other contestants included Miss Barbados, Zane Padmore, Miss Jamaica, Danielle Black, Miss Martinique, Alexandra Chastel, Miss Venezuela, Genesis Valeria Sijas, and Miss SVG, Shadisha George. Barron's next regional competition, Miss JC's, will take place in Antigua on August 1st, 2014. The government of Dominica has signed 2 agreements with the Federative Republic of Brazil that will further cooperation between the 2 parties. The first is a technical cooperation agreement initially proposed for signing at the Brazil CARICOM Summit in April 2010 to formalize cooperation between both countries. According to Karen Prevost, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the final documents have been approved by both parties.
The final documents have been approved by both sides, and the proposals are recommended here. We'll be signing this agreement today. We are also signing a proposal for cooperation activity between the Brazilian Water Agency and the Dominica Water and Sewage Company.
A water resource management project was undertaken by the 2 governments in September 2013, following which the government of Brazil proposed a program to accommodate the project. The program will engage representatives of Dominica Water and Sewage Company Limited, DOWASCO, and the Brazilian Water Agency, ANA.
One specific agreement to take care of water resources, and the most important one is an umbrella agreement. We call an umbrella agreement because it covers a wider area of expertise. We are going to open our bilateral cooperation not only to water resources but to agriculture and other things that Mr. Prime Minister would like to have.
Meanwhile, Minister for Water Resource Management, Honorable Reginald Austrie, said Dominica is ahead of many other countries in providing water to its entire population by 2015, but this must be managed under environmentally sound practices. Austrie says the Memorandum of Understanding clearly demonstrates the government's commitment to providing a reliable water resource.
We also expect that the successful implementation will open other areas of technical cooperation with Brazil. The government of Dominica takes this opportunity, therefore, to extend sincere thanks and appreciation for this commendable effort and assistance from the government of Brazil.
The technical cooperation agreement will last for 3 years and cost US $100,000. The Commonwealth of Dominica and the Federative Republic of Brazil have shared bilateral relations since 1986. The Ministry of Education on Monday, July 7th began a 2-week workshop on students at risk and mediation techniques at the Dominica Grammar School. The workshop is being facilitated by 2 Peace Corps volunteers for teachers and counselors. Facilitator Mary Forst noted the participants will learn to properly resolve conflict in their workplaces and will also be able to train students to be mediators.
It will be very beneficial to everyone because, first of all, learning conflict resolution skills is very helpful to people in their work life and in their personal life. But they'll actually be able to help with conflicts between teachers or teachers and principals and parents or with counselors. So they'll be doing that mediation. And then if the students are able to resolve their own conflicts, that will be very beneficial to the teachers because they won't necessarily have to get involved.
She said that students themselves can identify conflict and request mediation, while trained mediators at the schools can point out conflict areas and help the students. Force says mediation, which is a way of resolving conflict, is normally conducted with both parties for fair and mutual resolution.
I hope that there will be, that the people who are being trained will feel more confident about being able to help other people resolve conflicts. That's one thing, as well as being able to have the tools to teach students how to resolve conflict. And then there's kind of a side benefit that is that they would feel more comfortable with their own conflicts, their own personal conflicts, and be able to handle them better.
She added, unresolved conflict is something we do not want in our schools as it negatively affects those involved, leading to lack of productivity and an unfriendly environment.
So I think if we have good conflict resolution, we can help people feel more productive at work and feel happier in their lives, as well as students getting better relationships with each other and be able to concentrate on their schoolwork.
Based on previous workshops, Force, who has been a mediator for over 30 years, added schools that implemented mediation programs see a dramatic decrease in disciplinary rates. On Sunday, June 29, the Discover Dominica Authority, DDA, partnered with the Dominica Boston Cultural Performers Group for the 66th Annual Barnum Festival Great Street Parade in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The parade theme Celebrate Our Community depicted a great musical street parade with drum corps, bands, dancers, drill teams, creative floats, and giant balloons. The entire city came out to watch the parade, and local TV stations were also on hand to capture the festive moment. The Dominica Boston group wore their national wear, which highlighted Dominica's culture. A team of sailors from the French Navy on Monday, July 7th, hosted a beaching operation with a special ship titled the Bertrand Dumont de Veille at Battley Beach. According to French Honorary Consul in Dominica, Hervé Nizad, this special missions vessel, which is based in Martinique, does not need any port infrastructure to dock and has the capacity to beach anywhere for emergency missions.
It comes regularly just to double check that the beach, the sound is the same, that the sea has not moved too much with rocks or things like that, just to make sure in case of need that they call it the site is open, meaning that they can beach there if needed without any further additional request from them to do. They can do it on their own.
He said such exercises are important as during times of natural disasters and/or emergencies, the ship can beach directly on shore to assist countries by bringing first aid, food, water, and emergency material to remote locations anywhere in the Caribbean.
Let's imagine you have a huge earthquake or a huge hurricane. Let's imagine that the Roseau terminal and the Roseau port is destroyed, and as you of course know, just the day after you need emergency help. You need, I don't know, blankets, generators, water, fresh water, I don't know, whatever, just name it. Now they are able to come with trucks, and these trucks come on their own from the ship. They go down, they are on the beach immediately, and then they are able to bring assistance immediately. Now on the other side, what you can have as well is that you have, let's say, an earthquake or a volcano eruption, and then after that what you need is to have people taken away. If you look at what happened in Montserrat, take the example of Montserrat, where you would have the capability of a vessel to come and bring people out.
He said although they are unaware of other beaching sites on island, other areas can be explored in the future to determine their suitability. But Battley Beach underwater structure makes it perfect for the flat-bottom ship beaching. Lieutenant Commander of the Dumont d'Urville, Cyril Ray, noted the ship also has the capability to transport up to 15 vehicles.
The main importance is, as I said, is huge capability of transport, and the fact that it is able to land on the beach is important, because in case of natural disaster, he should be able to bring help in another point than the harbor that should be destroyed or unable to be used. That's the main point and the most important point of this ship.
The ship is the third of the 5 French patrols. Her construction began in 1980. She joined Fort de France and the Caribbean Sea for new missions in December 2010. The ship visits Dominica and other Caribbean countries every 2 years. When we return, more stories.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me, in us, by the Constitution and the laws of Puerto Rico and the United States of America, do hereby proclaim July the 4th, 2014 as Kalinago Taino Heritage Day.
On July 4, 2014, after several fringe activities, the indigenous Kalinago people of Dominica celebrated their 111th anniversary since the formal establishment of the lands of the territory. The event was marked with a grand parade. The second annual Grand Tradition and Cultural Parade, which began at the Salibia bus stop, showcased various aspects of the indigenous culture. The parade concluded with an official ceremony at the Carina Cultural Village, where Carib Chief Garnet Joseph made his opening remarks.
This 3,782.03 acres of land in this part of the island is our world. Everything that we owned before, all the lands that we owned before, was taken away from us, and we know about that in the history. But this is our world. And the question I want to ask this evening is what we intend to do with it.
Joseph asked that the Kalinago people come together and draw attention to what is happening to their rivers and dissemination of their lands. He also asked that they share their experiences with their Taino brothers and sisters across the region. One of the featured speakers, Prosper Paris, told the gathering that the main focus of the night was to celebrate themselves, a people who have resisted colonization and have strived throughout the years.
Imagine some of us Kalinagos cannot swim, fathers, to get on a canoe and to paddle your way out to this island. Today, the technology have changed. Most of our brothers or fathers, they do fishing in outboard motor and bigger boats. But our forefathers used the skill by hollowing a single trunk and getting in this single trunk, and they have experimented the way, navigated the way up through the Caribbean.
Meanwhile, Dr. Caroline Melendez from Umeco, Puerto Rico, acknowledged that it was not just a celebration of the Kalinago peoples, but of 520 years of indigenous resistance and survival.
That generation of struggle has made us stronger and resilient and more persistent in reclaiming what is rightfully our indigenous heritage. The exchange offers us, and here clearly, it offers us the opportunity to shape a future for generations of Kalinago and Boricua children. They will be the catalysts for the revitalization of our indigenous cultural heritage and identity.
The night ended with cultural performances and live band entertainment. The Kalinago territory, formerly known as the Carib Reserve, was established on July 4, 1903. After a long week of activities, the Kalinago community on Monday, July 7th, headed to the polls to elect a new Carib chief. Current Chief Garnet Joseph went up against Charles Williams and Irvins Okis, 2 former Carib chiefs, as well as newcomer Jumadin Frederick. SAT TV spoke to Frederick prior to the announcement of election results.
I have made it known to my people that it is time for change, and we must take our development into our own hands, because nobody will come from nowhere and develop us if we have to develop. First of all, we have to change our mentality. our mentality towards each other, our mentality towards work. We have to make a difference whereby we can bring economic stability within our territory.
Frederick added that whoever won must partner with the government and must follow certain guidelines for the development of their people.
Too many times, leaders come, they serve 5 years, they serve 10 years, and when they leave, the other incoming chiefs have absolutely nothing to work with. We must bring in transparency within the office. We must be accountable to the people.
Frederick was the youngest candidate at 37 years old. August also thought that he stood a chance with his focus on economic development in the territory.
I have done my campaign based on economic development, and by that I mean to do what is possible, get loans so that our people can have access to credit in a way that they can develop the land and start trading.
There were 6 polling stations which opened at 7 a.m. and closed at 5 p.m. for counting of the votes. The Carib Reserve Act was enacted in 1978 and reaffirmed the Carib territory's boundaries, its land management, and institutions of local government. The present population of the Carib territory is estimated at 3,000. Amid a gathering of Rotarians, Rotaractors, friends, and the 2014 Carnival Princess, Gitana Joseph, a new executive of the Rotaract Club of Roseau was installed on Saturday, July 5th at the Rodney's Wellness Retreat Center in Soufriere. At the helm of the non-profit community service organization for young professionals within the ages of 18 to 30 for the year 2014-2015 is President Shanda Caban. In her analysis of the theme Changes, Challenges, Chance, Embracing the Possibilities, under which the ceremony was held, she verbalized the need for members to put their best foot forward always and to stay motivated while taking on the many challenges that service volunteers face. Dane Hippolyte will serve as Vice President, Ezra Peter, Secretary, Leona Jeremiah, Assistant Secretary and Professional Development Director, McFerrin Pierre, Treasurer, Kina Baptist, Assistant Treasurer, Nomana John Baptist, Club Service Director, Venice Thomas, Community Service Director, Ishmael Joseph, International Service Director and Assistant Rotaract District Representative, Kerbin Joseph, Finance Director and Sergeant at Arms, and Taisha Williams, Immediate Past President. On the same evening, the Rotaract Club recognized the dedication of other members of the club during the last year. Ezra Peter was awarded Rotaractor of the Year, Director of the Year, the President's Award from past President Taisha and her committee, while the Finance Committee was awarded Committee of the Year. Dane Hippolyte also received the President's Award, while Venice Thomas captured the Spirit Award, and Leona Jeremiah captured the award for Most Outstanding Newly Pinned Rotaractor. The House of Hope project was dubbed Project of the Year. Student of St. Luke's Primary School, Jared Jajak, emerged winner of the 2014 DBS Reading Competition following the Grand Finals held on Friday, July 4th at the Arawak House of Culture. Jajak beat 9 other competitors to claim the top spot and $2,000. The competition, which is organized by DBS Radio in collaboration with courts and the Ministry of Education, was held under the theme Read Today for Tomorrow and saw the participation of a number of primary schools island-wide. Louise Aaron of Pioneer Preparatory School secured 2nd place, while Anessa Laura of Lighthouse Christian Academy took 3rd place. Other competitors came from the Wesley, Peerbush, Goodwill, Ebenezer SDA, Christian Union, Woodford Hill, and St. John's Primary Schools. Jean-Jacques will go on to represent Dominica at the regional reading competition in Grenada later this year. And in court news, accused burglar 31-year-old Lorenzo Pinard of Bath Estate has been remanded for the next 2 weeks when his bail application will be reviewed. It is alleged that Pinard entered as a trespasser into the business place of Pizza Hut Delivery on Cork Street on July 2, 2014 and stole a number of items including 2 Dell laptops, 3 boxes of Libby's drink, 2 giant malts, 2 apple pies, 3 bars of chocolate, 1 bag of bacon, 1 bag of chicken wing, 1 fingerprint reader, 4 Nokia cell phones, 1 Samsung phone, 1 BlackBerry phone, 1 safe, and $7,793.63 cash in safe. The overall value of items stolen is $24,446.61. Pinard was not required to plea as the offense is indictable. The prosecution, led by Inspector Valder Powell, objected to bail on the grounds that the investigation is ongoing. Other persons are being sought, and it is believed that if Pinard is granted bail, he will interfere with investigations. The prosecution requested 2 weeks to further investigate the matter. Pinard, who did not have legal counsel, said he will not object to the prosecution's request. However, he hopes that when he returns to court in 2 weeks' time, he can be granted bail on his own recognizance. The prosecution's request was granted by Magistrate Bernard Paquette, and Pinard's bail will be reviewed on July 21, 2014. The preliminary inquiry will begin on December 11, 2014. On June 3rd, Pinard was fined $1,000 by Magistrate Candia George for stealing 2 cell phones from Craig Hamilton. That fine was payable by July 31, 2014, or in default, 3 months in prison.